trucks ever rust.
Right? I know, it's just right up. I was like, what?
Even the new ones, if you salt, you rust.
So, but these are only used, right?
Like,
Like,
it's 55.
okay, so in our charts from the, of course, the snow plows and snow emergencies or whatever we call them, events, it's usually 3 to 4, that's what we average.
I'm sorry, we average 3 to 4 what?
Snow events?
A month, maybe.
Oh, okay.
There's no average. I mean,
Okay.
when it snows, we respond. Every year is different. But the vehicles, during the off-winter months, those vehicles will typically haul spoils from excavations, including water mains, sewer repairs. They will haul logs from forestry. They will haul topsoil when we are doing restoration work for forestry or winter, sod repair.
There also are leaf collection trucks.
The dumps come off, we can slide a leaf box in, so they're used during leaf collection. There's really not a season that they're not used.
I'm okay with not doing it this year.
I mean, I still haven't heard what the operational impact is if we do not replace the truck.
The operational impact is that it will increase our maintenance costs, our operational maintenance costs, to keep the truck on the road. Same as, a good example of that is we deferred all of our refuse truck replacements. You recall that, we were scheduled to replace our refuse trucks in 13, 14, 15, and we deferred all of them to last year. And we made it, but not without increased spending on vehicle maintenance.
Can I ask a
Isn't this big enough that we could bond for it?
Can't pawn bond for public works trucks.
Only garbage.
Only garbage and fire.
But it's used for garbage sometimes.
These would not be.
Okay.
How much
Well,
does it increase our?
Let's put it on the list and, go ahead.
I'm just wondering how much would it increase our maintenance cost, is it? Just so I have kind of a
It's
ballpark.
difficult to say. One of the things, in anticipating, this discussion, I get it. Going forward, what we're gonna try to do is, track more closely maintenance costs to each individual truck. And, in the future, we'll be able to give you a better handle on that. The best I could really do at this point is go back and tell you how much extra it costs us to keep those garbage trucks on the road.
What if we retired it? You don't have to say it tonight, so I don't wanna waste any time, but my actual, if you just retired the truck and you didn't replace it, then what is the operational impact of that with the other trucks that are available? And you don't need to answer tonight, I'm just,
Oh,
by the time.
I can't answer it tonight.
Oh, okay.
We need 6 full-size dump trucks to plow.
And we only have 6.
And then we would not have the 6 vehicles to plow in a major storm event.
Well, you could still plow with 5 dump trucks.
And we've got,
It just would take you longer to clear the roads. It's not
That's
like you
true.
can't do it.
But then during leaf collection, you have 3 trucks that have leaf bodies on it, now you're down to 2 trucks for plowing.
I thought we contract
Contract
out
out.
for the leaf collection.
We do not.
Wasn't that on the list?
it was.
Part of it. So just very quickly, we run 3 routes for leaf collection, so that means 3 trucks, 3 leaf vacs. Requires 3 drivers, and then it requires 3 employees behind the vac to operate the vac itself. We've been utilizing temporary help for the employees behind the truck, operating the vac.
Okay. That was unclear.
But could you contract out
Just
some of it?
Contract out leaf
Contract
collection.
out some of what?
Contract out leaf
So if we
collection.
needed the
That's
truck,
apparently what it
is there a way to do this where if we had the truck, one less dump truck, is there a way to contract out yardways?
Well, I think that's
It's
a
not
bigger
yard waste, it's
question. We
leaf
can't
collection.
talk about that right now.
And then plus I need 2 trucks for utilities for main breaks and all that.
We're gonna get to DPW,
Okay.
we're just trying to get through
Okay.
capital and then we're gonna go back. Okay, doors, let's put that on the list and
Okay.
we'll just have to see where we get to. Okay, door security access center at Village Center, I think prioritization, we were all pretty okay with that one.
Is that for village, that's
Village
the
Center, yeah.
Sure, I'm concerned though about the future, it said that we're gonna need more costs for maintenance, but go ahead. It was in this description.
Wilson Drive street furniture, that I guess is actual benches for the bus stops and recycling and garbage cans.
60 grand?
Did that memo go out on Wilson Drive?
No, it's in the budget.
Okay.
Didn't we have leftover proceeds, a ton of them? You can't buy street furniture.
Well, there's gonna be a memo coming out on that topic on Monday for the board meeting, so I'd recommend putting that on the list.
Okay.
And then take an action item, based on that information, once you've had a chance to review it.
Okay, 25,000 for sidewalk replacement, I don't think we can, that's our share for like corners and public sidewalks.
Can I ask, did we get that shaver?
We did not purchase one. We would be looking honestly, at contracting that work.
Because I saw in the write-up for sidewalks in this budget, it talked about we will also be shaving to save.
We'll be looking at incorporating that into our program, but at this point, I don't anticipate that we'll be performing that work ourselves.
I saw that the library was shaved, when I went to the library today, the concrete going into the library was shaved.
I was gonna say, what about Redfish Base? They said they would lend it to us, correct?
They lent it to us once so far when we've had an issue. It's not the machine's not the issue, it's the carbide blades that are very expensive.
Right.
So if they lend us the machine, we buy the carbide blades to replace. We've used it once so far since I've been here.
So I'm just wondering, in the future budgets or this one, if we are going to do sidewalk shaving, does this 25,000 go down? Because we do that to prevent having to replace the sidewalks in certain areas?
It could, but I would anticipate also, that the fees to have the
Right.
sidewalk shaved
I just
or
don't want
purchase
both.
of the blades would come out of there. So, it might be a wash.
And that's fine, as long as it
Okay.
doesn't show up somewhere.
Okay, EAB treatments, so that's both, is that just the injections, or is that both injections and replacement of ash?
In the odd years, that is just injections.
Okay,
And how many injections is 20,000?
Depends on the sizes of the trees. It's done by, it's a volume of chemical per diameter inch.
Okay, so maybe just follow up just with what are the categories and the costs?
well, does anyone wanna cut that, or,
No,
no, I don't
so
either.
can we just move on?
And the tree, for
That
tree,
we just got a grant for, and that's our part of the grant, so.
We're applying for a grant. We haven't received the grant.
somewhere in here there was a tree cost. And it looked very low, cause when we did Wilson Drive, it was at 800, and I think in the budget it was at
I
150.
think that's back in the, okay, so,
Sorry, when we go
that's
back.
back in, so let's, so I think we're at 230. At least that's my count. Have you been keeping track, Mark?
Can I just
No.
ask, no, it's right here, tree inventory, oh, that's the study, okay. It's not the
All right.
trees.
What is the total we need? That's 7.
It was, again, on some of the materials, I'm marking things for the list. I mean, obviously staff proposes,
I had
needs.
69 in
You-
capital and
you
then
can work
another
with the
20,
money.
so we're at 230.
Can I ask a question about utility infrastructure? For supplies?
What, are we in capital or where
Yeah,
are
it
we?
says sewer maintenance. And then it has, that's not a supply line, it's just PPI being brought down? Okay.
Yeah, actually, I know President Rozak and I were both curious because looking at the 2018 capital, there were a lot, like village-wide signs. There's 27,000, but we haven't spent, I don't know what we've spent, but we haven't processed anything so far this year.
Correct.
Do you have your list?
There's a lot of, items that this is compiled off of the 6/30 financial statements.
Oh,
So those items are either in progress and we're waiting, or coming a little bit later in the season.
Which ones are not started,
The,
you mentioned?
Just pages 102 and 103, the projected amounts. are based on the feedback that I got from working with DPW staff and other departments on the 2018 projects. So I did get updates on all of them. As far as the 2018 project list goes, we can get to that right after capital. I'll see if I can get a quick
We're
update.
done with capital.
Oh, we're on 107?
For 2018, yeah.
No parking plan review.
Where is that?
It's like the fifth line item down for 5,000.
Okay. But I mean, which did you count towards the 57,560? Isn't that?
What
no, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
57,560?
Okay, you.
That's the ending fund balance.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that was the wrong number. I mean, you had a number that you calculated where we would be at the end of 18, correct?
57,000 or something like that, yeah. 57,560.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that was the number, so you're saying of the 8.677 budgeted, that we're going to expend or, you know, initiate, charge back to this year, all but 57,000. We're gonna be spending all that $8.7 million.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we're gonna spend 5,153,529 of that. But if you look at revenues, we didn't borrow for nearly as much as we had projected in 2018 either, so we're about 2.5 million light on.
So that you would do 8.6 minus 2.5?
Well, I mean, yeah,
No,
standard budget.
Sorry.
Look at, I mean, I'm just saying, yeah, I mean, it's a lengthy list, but, you know, revenues projected versus actual, and then expenditures projected to actual, and then the difference is the difference, and,
Well, so I guess it's just the ones that are taxes, okay, so.
But if projected is 5.1 million, and you're saying 8.6 minus 2.5 is 6.1 million between revenues and expenditures, wouldn't we have another million left over? Or is that counted somewhere else?
well, we budgeted to spend some of reserves as well. I mean, it's a little more tricky than that, but, because there were some reserves already budgeted to be spent in the 2018, which is really not a true revenue, it's a use of reserve, it's.
So $1 million though, that's a
Why-
lot.
why-
Well, can you trust me, you're gonna have about 60 grand left. No?
I have a question about regular maintenance. It's projected at 20,000, and this year it's at 100. Is that just because it's an even odd year?
Well, I'm sorry, what line item are you looking at, please?
I'm looking at street and alley, same page, so it'd be 103.
Street and alley, regular maintenance,
This is-
budgeted 20, projected at 20, yeah.
And then 19 we do 100. Is that just because of every other year, or?
Well, what did we
Streetlight
budget for in
control-
20?
that's
Let's see.
streetlight control boxes.
In 18,
We budgeted 20.
budgeted 20, I'm just trying to find where that is on my 18 subschedule.
Is that just street and alley, like, where's that regular maintenance line?
Well, the 20 and 18 was from Morris, and in
there's-
19 is streetlight control boxes.
There you go.
Okay.
Thank you.
And
Thank you
regular
for your
maintenance is
help.
just budgeted in this, in the plan, okay. I had only one other question about surplus. So if you look on page 102, surplus applied, are we, is that what you were saying, is just the, see how we have 205, is that just the bonding leftover? What does surplus applied mean?
Well, basically, if you look back on 103, it's your DPW salt shed and your 5,000 for the parking thing. That's the details from 2017's
Okay.
sheet that's applied to the 2018
So it's
budget.
things that haven't been spent yet.
You know, now we bonded for 2018 and 2019 projects knowing that we're gonna apply that 200,000 to the 2018-19 project, so we under bonded. So again, as that kind of filters through the budgets, you know, that's already accounted for. So again, if you really wanna talk about what's not happening in 2018, I mean, I really think the only thing we're talking about is the Atwater Boardwalk. And we knew the salt shed wasn't happening, I mean, we already knew that. So everything else is, to the best of my knowledge, underway.
Is there a reason there's no 16 and 17 actuals for surplus applied?
That's a budgetary number, that's not an accounting number.
I don't know the difference.
Surplus applied is the way to balance your revenues and expenditures for budget, but you don't actually charge yourself when you make the accounting entry, so it doesn't show up in the actuals. It just happens. It's kind of that whole net, you know, revenues and expenditures is the difference in the perfect world is your surplus applied, and that's how it would show up on a financial statement.
Okay, I think we have to move on to public works, sorry.
Where are we going?
Public works.
I just didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
all right, and we'll just open the floor for questions.
Did we leave off or did we defer the whole thing? I can't remember.
I'm just trying to get to the right page, I'm
Did we
sorry.
make any decisions on public works or?
So page 66. So I put your wrap-up item list in page number order, if that's of any help. And the only thing that I've got noted was, we're gonna have a correction for that, or considered adjusting the solid waste fees for the school, and to review the natural turf practices. Those are the only two things that I took away from Monday's meeting for Public Works.
Is the winter maintenance overtime, did we talk about that? I think we did, we talked about it, whether we would, have to say the roads may be a day or two later than you're used to your roads being cleared, but, I don't know. That might reduce the overtime payment. A little, I think.
But it also could be a non-issue, and depending on when storms happen. So that's the hard part, is really.
And again, we budget for what we think is an average approximation, and you're absolutely right, though. Every time the pack game's on and it snows, I start thinking about my public works guys out there plowing the roads.
Well,
It's a budget killer.
we all appreciate all the work that DPW employees do. I really hope no one interprets our discussions about budget to mean any disrespect to any village employees. So I hope that's clear.
Well, if you eliminate that, then you're gonna start getting a lot more accidents, and the PD's gonna be calling us constantly.
Well, that's a good point.
I don't wanna,
I also think that there's, no, we didn't.
They were pretty good, we're at 230.
I think, I don't know, I have a hard time with that. I think that that's really an expected service. If you live in Wisconsin, like, you expect your roads are gonna be clear. And I really struggle with that. Especially if you drive out of our town, the roads are clear.
Yeah.
And so I struggle with it.
I agree with you. I think I view it as kind of a safety issue. I don't want to see that increase in accidents. So.
Snow removal, like timeliness of it, in correlation to overtime.
Oh, yeah, so we had mentioned before, though, I don't suggest that we were gonna eliminate snow removal. It would be nice to know what Milwaukee's contract is, what they pay for their snow removal, if that's one of the municipalities that you're saying you're going to and it's clear. But I think what we had talked about earlier is, we haven't decided on snow dumping, so, that's 26,000, right? If we don't pick up the snow and move it, I think.
Well, that's a conceptual cost
Okay.
based on you know,
Right, and
Good
then
guesses.
the other thing was not doing bare pavement, I don't know if we ever got consensus on that at the board, is that, because that would reduce amount of winter maintenance, correct? And less salt, so anyways, I don't remember if we got consensus, but I think those are the two things that.
What does that mean exactly? So it means like there would be an inch or so of snowpack that people are driving on instead of the bare road, right? Is that what it means?
And does
So-
anybody else do that, like around us? Do you know?
On purpose?
On purpose.
Not on purpose.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the other thought was just,
Again, I go back to that
Yeah.
expectation of like, you leave Shorewood and the roads are clear.
I, you know,
And-
that's, Milwaukee, I
Milwaukee's
find
is
you leave
worse.
short of Milwaukee is always, Whitefish Bay, I don't know, but Milwaukee is, it depends where you go, cause like if you're on the Humboldt, maybe, but
Right.
if you get off onto River West, I mean, those roads can be piled up for a long
I
time
would
before
hate to
they're
make
plowed.
budgetary decisions based on relative, perception of danger relative to other communities. I mean, I think we have to trust our professionals here, what are the best practices? And, I hear what you're saying, if we're gonna cut the amount that we, amount of money and, time that we spend on our roads, it might shift into the police and accidents, and in other areas, it's just gonna cost us as much, if not more, likely in overtime. So I think we provide the best service we can based on, we're not, you know, we have $90,000 for a traffic study, we can eliminate that. You know, there are other areas we can eliminate, public safety is definitely not one of them.
Also building on that, I would hate for there to be a disconnect in terms of what we expect from our citizens, plowing their own sidewalks and driveways, vis-a-vis what we're doing with the roads.
Well,
I think
that's
if
a
we're,
good point.
if we're gonna have a high bar here, we have to have a high bar here.
I agree with that.
Well, I just, or we could loosen that bar too.
I mean,
No.
So, I do think it's worth a conversation,
Shut
if
in
it's not
community.
this year, it's next, it's next year, it's a service level conversation, it's not that one that I think would be great to have, because like, looking at other communities isn't comparing your safety to other communities, it's just literally saying, are there other practices that are safe, based on the statistics? And one of the things from the Environmental Conservation Committee is that maybe not all roads have to be bare, like maybe the arterials, our main arterials do, but maybe some of the side roads that aren't as traveled as frequently, could go down a level in service. I don't know what that means, but you know what I'm saying, it's not as cleared as something else. We do that with our alleys.
Or alleys don't have to be there.
we do actually have a winter maintenance policy manual.
Okay, great.
It has not been updated, at the board level in some time.